Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
How dare you interrupt my daily meditation session, asshole.
What's your profanity?
Right, I'm sorry.
I'm just playing with you boys. I hope that you're all doing good. I hope that you are strong out there. And I hope you're ready for a pretty sick message today, because I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I think I am a pioneer. I am what you would call a creator, an inventor, so to speak. Because your boy over here has pretty much invented a whole brand new way to meditate. And it will, bro, like it will change your life, or at least change the way that you meditate. So why meditate in the first place, right? Like, why should I bother closing my eyes for 15, 20 minutes a day, bored as hell, falling asleep? Like, why do this whole meditation thing? Kind of sounds a bit wishy-washy, you know? The reason you do it, dumbass, is because step one in improving absolutely anything in your life is to get your mind right. It's to be able to observe your thoughts, observe your emotions, not be controlled by them, because let's be honest, a lot of you out there are very at the whim of all the emotions that arise on a daily, maybe weekly, monthly basis.
The fuck you say to me, you little You shut up when I'm talking to you!
And meditation essentially allows you to catch that little asshole in the act and kind of get your mind right, get your mental health clear and strong, so that you can then proceed in life with good mental health. You'd be able to use your mind for you and not against you. You essentially learn how to control your emotions and your thoughts before they learn how to control you. But don't worry, I'm not going to spend this whole video boring you with the details of why you should meditate, even though you damn should. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link up a video right over there explaining the importance, like the real importance of why you should meditate. Not all this honky donkey that makes no sense. Not all this like wishy-washy stuff of to be enlightened or to be transcendent of reality, right? I'm going to give you the actual reasons why you should meditate. It involves goals, it involves money, it involves success. So if you're a basic motherfucker, you should probably watch that video. It might just change your life. So along my own personal journey of learning how to meditate, right? Just meditating as a daily practice, I stumbled into a few problems, and maybe some of you out there have kind of encountered the same problems with meditation. And you know, these three problems kept coming up over and over again. And I sat for a while thinking, all right, so meditation is great. I want to do it, but how do I really maximize this process? How do I get rid of these specific obstacles so that I can have the best possible experience, and as a result, the best possible outcome of this daily meditation practice? I want to be getting results for the effort that I'm putting in, and I'm sure you do too. And so in order to solve any problem, we need to first become aware of the problem. And as for me, I have become aware of three main problems with traditional meditation, shall we say. Problem number one is that when you focus solely on your breath, right? Most meditation practices will teach you breathe in, breathe out. But I found that doing this kind of placed too much importance on the breath, and as a result, my breathing became forced, right? So in meditation, you are simply supposed to watch the action of breathing. You're supposed to witness the breathing, witness the thoughts, and then witness the emotions. But I would sit there like a dumbass going, and like I would just catch myself like trying to breathe, like not like I'm a human who hasn't learned how to breathe normally. I'd be sitting there like controlling it, like breathe for 3 seconds, hold, and let go for 4 seconds. Like it just wasn't productive, and I wasn't feeling zen. I was feeling like a freaking control freak. The second problem, and it also has something to do with breathing, you absolute asshole, we see you. Just attacking the breath for no reason today. But the second problem that I found with breathing in particular was that the time in between the breaths was far too long. And it's usually during that time, that kind of moment in between breathing, that I would become the most distracted. That's when my mind would wander off to something, and I would think of this thing I needed to do today, or I'd get this horrible memory and I'd have this horrible emotion. And yeah, just that kind of buffer time would be my downfall when meditating. And you know, it's good to catch yourself thinking, it's good to get lost in thoughts so that you can bring your attention back to the present moment, hence the whole purpose of meditation, if you didn't know. But I found that these distraction periods became way too long. And I think for a beginner that has a shitload of thoughts going on pretty much all the time, it's very difficult to kind of find that anchor point, that kind of focus point more often than not when starting your practice. And so that is problem number two. And problem number three, which I would argue is the most critical problem, right? And it's something that not a lot of meditators actually know is a problem, but hopefully I can enlighten you today. See what I did there? Enlighten. Oh, I'm sorry. Such a clown. Problem number 3 is actually more of a deeper level problem. And the problem relates to the fact that whether you know it or not, there are actually different purposes of meditation. There are reasons or different reasons to be meditating. And for the majority of people, we all do the first reason, right? We all meditate for focus. So if you didn't know, like your standard in and out, focus on breathing only, catch the thoughts kind of meditation, that is a meditation for focus. That's a meditation for you to ground yourself, to become aware of the thoughts, and that's what makes it such a brilliant starting point. However, there is a second way to meditate, or a second purpose of meditating, and it can be so bloody beneficial. It's honestly something that I've started to incorporate in my own meditation practice, and it's changing my life, right? And the second purpose of meditation is to be able to practice what I like to call radical acceptance, which is essentially teaching you how to take on whatever emotion you feel, whatever suffering you may be going through at a particular moment in time, and just learning how to control it, but not even control it, just how to accept it, how to live with that pain and that suffering. A lot of people run away from their problems. A lot of people are like, oh, emotion, oh, sadness, no, love, whereas you should actually embrace that emotion into your daily life. And so that is what the third or the second type of meditation teaches you, how to regulate your emotions, right? And as you see with your typical breathing in and out, you don't really get a chance to process emotion, and that can be a big problem. But luckily for you, you lucky bastard, I have solved all 3 of these problems. You're very welcome, right? I have solved these problems, and I've actually figured out a way to meditate that combines both of these aforementioned purposes. Aforementioned's a fancy word to use this early in the morning. Sheesh. Can I get a like and a subscribe just for using big words? But I'm desperate, guys. I need the views, I need the likes. But I figured out a new way to meditate that allows you to combine both practices, as well as completely get rid of all the problems that we just discussed about meditation. So in order to teach you this practice, I'm going to first guide you through your, standard, typical, traditional form of meditation. And then I'm going to show you the changes or the tweaks that I've made in order to make this style of meditation more effective, right? So your typical traditional meditation starts with a form of closing your eyes. Some people like to relax their body, which I think is a great practice. Just kind of go through each body part, soften it up, make yourself nice and comfortable, get your mind and body connection strong. That's essentially what it does, right? And once you're there, the rest of the meditation, whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or an hour, the rest of the meditation is spent on focusing on breathing in and breathing out. And you literally do that over and over again, and inevitably you'll have thoughts. A lot of people get that wrong, which I did explain in my other video. A lot of people think that thinking is the enemy of meditation, whereas it's actually the way to practice it. So you'll get a thought or you'll get a feeling, and then all of a sudden you'll get lost in that thought or the feeling, and then your mind is like, oh wait, we're meditating. I'm supposed to be counting my breaths. And so you come back to the breath. You say, okay, I saw the thought, I'm not the thought, and then and that's essentially how you build your mental reps when it comes to meditation, right? A lot of people also count the breaths, which is also a really useful practice. So if you battle to concentrate, count each breath. Say 1 and out, 2, and that just really allows you to kind of stay focused, right? That is your typical standard procedure for traditional meditation. But as I mentioned before, there are typically very long intervals between those breaths. So for example, silence. Silence. And trust me, your breathing gets a lot slower. Once you start to kind of calm your body down, your heart rate goes lower and there's a lot of silence. Now it's like, fuck, don't think. And that's problem 1, right? So it's a simple solution, but in order to fix problem number 1, which is the silence in between the breaths, just pick another sense. And the way I do it is I start incorporating, you hear that? Sounds. You incorporate listening into your practice. So what I do is I go, focus on breath, focus on the feeling of the breath. What can I hear? I can hear the trees rumbling. I can hear the humming of my computer. I can hear my 5 beautiful girlfriends outside cooking me breakfast. Fuck, I wish. This is me imagining now, but you can hear the sounds. And this just allows you to really maintain that focus, right? And there's actually studies to back this up. I'll reference them in the video, but there's studies that show that multi-sensory meditation is so much more effective because it allows your mind to stay focused and grounded in the present moment. I would not recommend though that you incorporate too much stuff. This is actually the ultimate goal if you didn't know about meditation. Like the ultimate goal is for you to be totally present and aware with all the senses, right? But if I told you now to sit with all the senses, you'd be overwhelmed.
That's too much.
So start small. Start with just 2 senses and watch how much more focus and clarity you get during your meditation. Step 1 is add another sense. And it doesn't have to be sound, right? You can breathe and then focus on the smells or focus on the sensations. But like I said, sound is more dynamic, it's more spontaneous. And remember, meditation is teaching you how to be spontaneous. It's picking up spontaneous inputs, right? And that is why you should use that. Now, the second thing we need to discuss is, okay, Niall, how do I incorporate the emotional meditation that you just spoke about? And so the way to incorporate this whole idea of radical acceptance or processing emotions during a meditation is to use either your breathing or to use that space, that glorious space that we just spoke about in between the breaths, to really sit and focus on your emotions. And so the way I like to do this, right, is you're busy meditating, and let's use the breath example for the beginning. So let's say now you really pinpoint that emotion that you're currently experiencing, right? Whether it's anxiety, whether you're feeling sad, whether you're feeling angry, you sit with that emotion. You feel where it is in your body, right? So it's usually in your stomach area. For a lot of people, for me, it's like the stomach. You sit with that emotion, you feel it, but you don't judge it. You don't try to fix it. You don't try to push it away. You use your breath as a tool to take it in and to release it, right? And so as you breathe in, instead of focusing on the sensations of the breath, you focus fully on the sensation of that emotion. So anger, release. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's pretty difficult at first. This is why it's an advanced level of meditation. It's very difficult for you to sit with those emotions because, like I said, a lot of people don't sit with their emotions. And that's why a lot of people, for lack of a better term, are pretty emotionally fucked up. No offense, but that's why. But it allows you to sit there, and you'll notice after about 15 minutes of just sitting and accepting it, that emotion gets passed through you, which allows you to be a lot happier, right? The other way that you can do it is focus on the breath. And then during that silence, focus on the emotion. Where can I feel it in my body? What sensations is my body experiencing? Not the thoughts, not who's made me angry, not what's making me angry, not how I can fix it, but what does it feel like and how can I process it and let it go? And to combine both practices, which is what I promised earlier on, is essentially you use your breathing, like I said, you use your breathing as your kind of focus point to focus on thoughts, any thoughts coming in and out. And this is usually what spurs on the emotion, right? You'll catch yourself thinking a thought and it'll be like, oh, that person pissed me off today, or oh, I'm really worried about this presentation I need to give. Oh, emotion. And then you feel it. You start to use that focus and that time to focus on the emotion. And now you're incorporating both focused meditation and you're incorporating emotional processing. What an absolute legend you are. You're welcome, bro. Happy meditation. Really take mindfulness seriously. It can honestly be a game changer to your life. It can change your whole world and just give you, like I said, it can give you that perspective and that clarity and that good, strong mental health, which will allow you to achieve and conquer every other aspect of your life.